Tonight's matchup. Longevity, baby. Grooving.
Broadcasting live from downtown Las Vegas, you're tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Yo, you tuned in to Gorilla Cross Radio.
Yeah, I'm on my weird way. Get it like Toby. You on my way, don't get cozy. Give me my trophy. Yeah, I had to pray. I had to kill off the old me. Yeah, had to focus a lot. I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe. Yeah, I'm on my weird way. Get it like Toby. You on my way, don't get cozy. Give me my trophies. Yeah, I had to pray. I had to kill off the old me. Yeah, had to focus a lot. I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe. Yeah, killing my verses, living my purpose. Yeah, killing my burdens, giving my service. Yeah, I had to pray. I had to kill off the old me. Yeah, had to focus a lot. I'ma shoot my shot, Kobe.
Yo, what's up, and welcome to another episode of Unnamed Sports Show right here on Gorilla Cross Radio, streaming live on GorillaCross.com, the Gorilla Cross app, and all social media. Follow us at Gorilla Cross everywhere, and download the app. It's free. That's a good reason to download something. Listen, man, we have a big show for you today. A lot to talk about. UFC 253 recap. We have NFL Week 3 in the books. Almost. We got one more game we'll talk about tonight. And the NBA playoffs. NBA Finals are set. The Lakers and the Heat, so we're going to talk about that and get our predictions today. But first, my man, just in time, Josh Williams in the building. What's good?
Man, I'm sitting here just trying to get this food out my teeth. I'm good, though. I'm good. We're back. Another week. Here to talk about sports.
There you go. Got the man with the Giants shirt on. Todd in the building. Representing. How you feeling?
0-3. I'm all right.
You feeling 0-3?
Yeah.
I love you, Todd.
It's okay.
I'm glad to be back and excited Dave's back, too.
There you go.
Spoiler
alert. Spoiler alert.
Dang.
He wanted to be the one to announce it.
Oh, I was like, don't say anything.
Because listen,
Don't say
when
anything.
I walked in, the first thing Todd did was present Dave to me. He went like this.
I don't think I did that.
You definitely did. With two hands.
Oh,
I
my
might do-
goodness.
But we have the man back in the building. You've heard his voice, folks, this season. He's called in a couple times. Josh skipped him during fantasy football.
He did.
These
But
things did not take place.
Death Star
100%
Dave is in the building. What's good?
What's good is the Bills at 3-0. Any other 3-0 fans 3-0 teams in here? Just me? Okay.
No,
just you.
Also,
Wow.
breaking
Bragging
news.
rights.
The Josh rankings have been updated and Josh Williams has been clearly surpassed.
with what?
Josh Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
No, I couldn't have.
I've been converted. I can't believe it. I never thought this day would come.
None of us
Neither did anyone else.
None of us did. And you dropped a quarterback and added Josh Allen yesterday.
That's right.
I was shocked. But you got to talk to the commissioner. I don't think he was happy about that.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he'll find a way. I mean, he's playing so well. I'm sure he'll be on Todd's team instead of mine.
I got Mahomes. I ain't picking up anybody.
Oh,
That's true.
I actually.
Well, God forbid Mahomes gets hurt, because Magic would be like, "Oh, I had priority for Josh Allen by the bylaws, Section 3."
I won't do it now, but last year when Josh Allen started playing well, I did put in the group chat, Dave, Josh Allen's really good. And
I completely disagree.
yeah, I'm gonna find it after the show.
All it took was a healthy Devin Singletary and Mr. Stephon Diggs, and I'm on board, baby.
Cole Beasley in the slot.
But Buffalo,
I'm ready to jump through a table. Let's go.
Buffalo was good
Bills
last year.
Mafia.
Buffalo was good last year, and Dave refused to believe it the whole season.
Like,
Refused.
at all.
But I'm worried now because now they're good. Now Dave's accepting it. I see 3 losses in a row.
No.
Well, they have a tough stretch coming up, but no, they will not have 3 losses in a row because they're winning this week, or I'm going to have a very hard time with life.
Who's their matchup this week?
They play the Raiders this coming week, who I hate with the deepest of passions.
Yeah, it's a tough one. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. Being here in town now. No, I'm saying being here in town. I'm not saying the
my
game
gosh,
itself.
being anywhere.
Just for you, that's a
With that
tough.
scum. The worst of the worst.
Oh my God.
Wow.
See, I've accepted it. I knew what Raider Nation meant. And I
Yeah,
knew what they were bringing.
You don't. You still don't.
But Dave's hating them for a while.
Fair enough.
But more now than ever.
Why is that? Because you deal with them more now?
Oh yeah, I deal with them quite a bit now. I've looked into the pit of darkness that is these pieces of nonsense.
You've
I
looked
can't say
into
my
Satan's
actual
eyes.
thoughts on the show. The biggest problem is that there's just so many people that don't know a thing about like the sport or anything else.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my excuse to be human garbage. So silver and black, baby.
Welcome
Just win,
back.
baby.
Welcome back, Dave. Welcome back.
real quick.
I have a lot more to say on that topic, but I don't want to hijack the show.
Real quick, on September 23rd, 2018, so just over 2 years ago, I put in our group chat, David, did you order your Josh Allen jersey yet?
I can't wait
And
to
he
hear
said,
what I
no,
said to that.
no, I'm good. I said the future of the franchise.
Oh, if you asked me as early as last year, if you asked me at the beginning of this season, because I still didn't think they had enough tall receivers for his overthrown passes. Yet,
Are his throws but his throws he's been fairly accurate.
he's made some nice throws this year.
Yeah.
He has the ball going like this direction instead of this direction.
Did you see Peyton Manning's detail on him?
I did not. I've never watched a second of Peyton Manning's detail.
Watch it. It was actually pretty good. I meant to send something about that in the group chat. It actually was pretty good.
He's not just a running, like now he thinks about, like, he had a play where it looked like he was definitely taken off, and he just threw a dart like 12 yards downfield.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's progress that I did not expect to finally happen, but it happened. I mean, I guess people get better, and I figured he would get better, but he seems to. The Stephon Diggs move has proved to be quite huge for them, because he's a real player. That's a real receiver.
Yeah.
Listen, man, we all made picks. Everybody that was in here, we made picks on Thursday, right?
Yes.
I did pretty good.
Yes.
So me and Kareem are going to tie?
No. You and Kareem. So Steve and I, we're pulling up the rear by only a game.
Whoa.
I said pulling up the rear. It's nothing shady.
I didn't say anything. I just
You
said,
said
oh.
whoa.
I just said,
So
whoa.
Josh, you're tied with Steve, who does no research on anything.
Hey, listen.
Listen, man.
The tie
everybody.
hurt. The tie hurt because if I actually would have, if the Bengals would have won, I think all of us would have caught a win except for Quan. Quan was the only one that took the Eagles. And then there was another game too where it was like, that wasn't supposed to be a loss. And
Well,
I
I can tell you where the loss came on that. Any of us that saw even a second of that atrocity, that's some of the worst football I've ever seen in my life. Some of the worst coaching.
That was my first time watching Joe Burrow, and I was like,
No, I think he's good. He has
Definitely
nothing. AJ Green is washed up,
yeah.
and there's not a lot to like.
Well, plus, if you just keep throwing to him over and over again, I mean,
Eventually-
they know that's your weapon.
I mean, these people do get paid too.
I mean, who else
Exactly.
is he gonna throw to?
There's not much.
Yeah. But listen, you guys can call in 702-608-3259 and chime in on what we're talking about. Let us know your feelings on everything. So we're going to get into the NFL to start. go through some of the picks that we had in some of these games. Some really good games, some duds, some overtime game, which I'm just not happy with the NFL overtime. And I know we were going back and forth in the text group about it. Is there a way to make the NFL overtime better?
Yes, college overtime, but they'll never do it. College overtime is far superior to NFL overtime.
No, why? Okay, so that was what Quan is a proponent of as well. Why do you think they'll never do it?
They'll never do it because, I mean, as I don't remember who said it yesterday, but it wasn't their idea. They're never going to do something that college did first.
I think that was Kareem.
They get forced into it. But they get forced into adopting like new school offenses and things like that. I mean, they're just getting numbers are pushing them into going for it on fourth down and things like that. But still, it's like it's a fight. It's a fight every second of the way. And every time a team comes out with a running attack, they're ready to like roll it back another 10 years. So I can't see this as well. Plus, with these NFL teams, like you could see with these coaches, yesterday you cannot tell me that those two coaches were not coaching for a tie. I did not see anything.
They weren't aggressive at all.
After it got to a certain point, you could definitely see that it was like, yeah, it's going to be a tie.
Yeah, but I mean, just no urgency. Like, I don't know, man. College.
But I know it's not. Josh, real quick, you say a certain point. It's 10-minute overtime now.
Yes, 10 minutes.
That certain point happened halfway through the overtime. There was 5 minutes left where you could tell they were just trying to play it safe and not lose.
I mean, once you get to once we've both had our possession, it should be all or nothing at this point, truthfully, because it's only like I think it was probably about the 5-minute mark. Both teams had a possession, and it's like, all right, well, if we're gonna win, we probably should.
And I'd rather take a loss trying hard and playing hard, trying to get that W, than just playing it safe for a tie. I know for the record, whatever, but I don't know. I would just feel better going down with a loss where I was really trying hard. Todd, what do you think about overtime in the NFL?
I don't think it's a big deal. I mean, the two teams that are playing yesterday that had a tie aren't great teams, I don't think, this year. So maybe they're just challenged. Maybe they're playing it safe.
But you have the Eagles in a division that's winnable by any team. Well, not yours, but
I don't like the Eagles, but they don't look very confident this year.
But what I'm saying is they're not very good. But at the same time, it's a division that's winnable. They weren't good last year. They won the division.
Well, they're only a half game behind first place.
Exactly.
So it's better than being a full game, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, they could win with that half game. Yeah. If you think about it, they could win the division with that.
Yeah, but the way those teams played yesterday, I don't think either. Even with the expanded playoffs, I don't see either of those teams sniffing the playoffs.
Yeah, well, it was. Well, I mean,
ties are still a pretty rare thing.
The team that wins, the division will sniff the playoffs. We'll probably be banished quite quickly, but you know what I mean.
I mean, we had a tie.
What a terrible.
We
division.
had an overtime and one overtime game last week. The Chargers and Chiefs, right? In week 2.
And that was a good
fine.
That was a good overtime
thing. I think we had two teams that were.
Well, but you also had two coaches who were like, "Hey, let's win this game."
Yeah.
As opposed to yesterday,
last week. Yeah.
Well, we don't get paid for OT.
That was a division game, though. Last week.
Yeah, that was a division.
A little bit
too.
more
That's
to
true.
play. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a huge
If
deal.
you guys are watching live, please share the live video stream with your people. We appreciate everyone tuning in. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, wherever you're watching, we appreciate it. If you're listening on the app, we appreciate that as well. Man, NFL Week 3, Bears 3-0. In my opinion, the worst 3-0 team in the league. They look like they could have lost every game. But the Falcons give up another big lead.
16.
Trubisky is out, and now they say Foles is starting next week.
Yep.
Yeah. That happened a lot quicker than I thought it would.
Do you think that maybe there's like a conspiracy theory there to where they thought, well, either way, so if Trubisky leads a comeback, I can't bench him.
Yeah.
But if Foles comes in, he doesn't lead a comeback, you just like he got too big of a hole, but he leads a comeback, and now I can put Foles in.
Yeah, well, because I mean, right to your point, had Foles not have come back, then it's like, well, see, that's what you have in Foles.
Yeah.
So now we can go back to at least the young guy has a chance.
But they also, I mean, they could have lost any of the 3 games. 1, and 2. I mean, you're really going to have to move to keep pace with Green Bay right now because Aaron Rodgers.
But still, to be 3-0 and get pulled as a quarterback is rare. That's very rare. You don't really see that.
Well, he is garbage.
I think it was Kareem that actually posted something earlier. I completely forgot that he was picked ahead of Mahomes and Deshaun Watson.
How could you forget that? It's brought up all the time.
No. I just for some reason because by the
way, he was
Josh,
picked number
he was
2.
traded for.
I know.
They traded up.
They
traded up
up
with a great team. They traded up to pick him, and where the position they were at, I think it was 5 or something like that.
They were top 5. I know that.
They wouldn't. He was going there anyways.
He was gonna be there.
He would have been available at 5.
Well, yeah, he was a quarterback who had one solid year for a
North
6-5
Carolina,
team.
Yeah.
And somehow they felt the need to trade up to take him at number 2.
Hey man, you trust your board.
And like I said, I mean, I have to admit, coming out of college, I was not a Mahomes believer. I thought he was a system guy, but I was certainly a Deshaun Watson believer. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. What more does somebody have to do in college to say that he's better than Mitchell Trubisky?
Well, I mean, for me, like, I guess the reason that I forget, truthfully, is because you feel like the other two have done so much so quickly.
Because they have.
No, you know what I mean? But, like, Trubisky has been there, but it's like, he's done well. He led them to the playoffs that one year. And played pretty well.
Their defense led them to the playoffs.
True, but I mean, he at least played serviceable. Like, you at least felt like, okay, if this was his jumping off point as a young quarterback, he should continue to progress from here. And he just hasn't.
I don't think I ever felt that way.
Really?
I always thought he was trash.
And let's move on to the Falcons. How long does Dan Quinn last?
Well, I mean, you said he was fired.
My prediction was today sometime or last night. He didn't get fired. I feel like he has too much stake in that team. I feel like they like him too much.
Well, Arthur Blank, he's if you think about it, Arthur Blank has only had 2 coaches, maybe 3.
He's had a few, but it's
because he had Jim Moore. He had Jim Moore, and then
Mike Smith,
and then I think it's been Dan Quinn.
He has a hard time because to be honest, I thought a lot of franchises after last season, I thought Dan Quinn was going to be fired in the offseason, and he wasn't. So I wonder if a lot of teams are. I don't think you're going to see a lot of coach firings mid-season this year.
Yeah,
I just don't think so. Just because they don't know what's all's going to happen with COVID stuff, and your whole team can get wiped out, and this and that. And
you don't know. You don't want to try and bring someone else new in, and it's like, well, they don't know our protocols and all this other stuff right now. Too.
Right. I think everybody's gonna. I think you're gonna get a longer leash than you normally would, and like as we've said, for some reason he has an incredibly long leash with those coaches there. He loves those guys. I mean, Dan Quinn. I mean, the players. When it's time for Dan Quinn's job, they tend to show up and fight enough games to get to. Like last year, they showed up and won a couple games to keep him hired.
Yeah. But these last 2 games, I mean, you just can't. You can't have games like that. 2 big leads. And obviously, it was a lot more heartbreaking against the Cowboys. Last week it was different
for all of us.
The fact that, the fact that you had that game and then you're up in this game at home.
Yeah,
you have to have that in your mind. Like, okay, we have to put this away
at home.
I mean,
not that it matters, but
especially coming off the heels of the Super Bowl, where now it's like this running theme where everyone says it and everyone feels this way.
But that's why I feel like as an owner and a GM, I would go in and be like, okay, we have to shake this up because now this is a habit. It is a running joke.
Yeah.
So, bam, let's shake this up. It's 3 games into the season, so there's still a chance. They have a good squad.
They do.
Offensively, they do.
Kind of.
They can put up some numbers.
But they have a good enough squad.
Defense is really bad.
Yeah.
But don't you think it's maybe time, like...
I don't know who their defensive coordinator is, but maybe switch that out.
Yeah, their defensive coordinator,
their
defense, that's their biggest issue is their defense is awful. But Dan Quinn was a defensive coach.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to remember that's his specialty on that side of the ball.
Should be.
And on offense, I mean, you still have Matt Ryan putting up numbers. Julio, when he's healthy, puts up numbers.
Yeah.
He doesn't put up touchdowns, but he puts up numbers.
Calvin Ripley, believe it or not.
It's Ridley, but okay.
No, he said it in the chat. He had a typo. And,
but no, it's man, I feel like they're gonna play this year out, and I think next year is like the everything must go, and we're starting over because realistically, they're so far behind on defense, and the offense is just getting older.
Yeah.
One of those years, Ryan will stop putting up numbers. I mean, those numbers are kind of proving to be empty numbers right now, so they're going to have to move on.
Yeah.
All right. Next game, the Bills looked really good. This was a big game. A Rams team that's definitely much improved from last year. They look more like what we expected them to be last year. They're playing
two undefeated teams.
Two undefeated teams at the time.
Mm-hmm.
One is not undefeated now, which is the Rams. Which, thank you, Dave. Most people, in our division lost, so I was happy about that. Seattle didn't. Dallas didn't handle business. The only game of the year I wanted Dallas to win, and they couldn't do it for me. So I hope you lose every game. I hope you lose players and everything.
Wow.
But it was a really good game. The Bills beat the Rams. Dave broke out of his 2-year slump of hating a team that made the playoffs last year, his favorite team, his quarterback, and now he's in love with the team. He's wearing the hat. He has a Josh Allen jersey under his T-shirt. Dave,
Never
the
played
Bills are 3-0.
Let me tell you.
And Josh Allen looks great. I mean, he's early season.
He's not just a runner right now.
Yeah.
I'm
He's
not
throwing
ready
good.
to say that he's figured out the passing game, but he doesn't make the same stupid mistakes. I don't see the ball sailing so far this season. Like I say, it really does seem like the addition of Stephon Diggs made a huge difference. He needed a real... I thought that threat was going to have to be tall because I thought he was going to continue to sail like balls everywhere.
What'd they give up for Diggs?
First
I think
round
it was- yeah, it was
pick
just
and
pick.
some other
Yeah, it was just
picks.
And that's definitely affected Minnesota, too, because
Yeah.
Well, but I mean, they used that pick. Minnesota used that pick to get
Not a receiver.
Justin. Yeah, they did. Justin Jefferson out of
really?
out of LSU,
He had a great game.
who had a
yesterday.
great game yesterday.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Minnesota's had some tougher luck. They're having some defensive struggles that I think a lot of people didn't see coming.
Todd, is Josh Allen real?
Yeah, I've been saying it for a couple of years now. Mostly teasing Dave about it, but I saw the potential. I think.
Yeah.
I listen. I thought he was a very, very good up and coming quarterback last year, and I would get on Dave all the time. Like, he's not, but
Yeah.
Dave being Dave.
Yeah.
You don't watch him enough. I'm like, well, the 4 games I've watched,
Well,
he's looked pretty good.
Listen, here's the thing. It's just his progression in the passing game, because running, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Like he is a quarterback that runs through people.
Yeah, no, he does.
As I used to always say, like he is what people think black quarterbacks are. Huge arm,
Yeah,
runs like crazy,
inaccurate.
But I mean, he is a lot more dialed in this year. It feels like maybe it's just the natural progression of his game. But like I said, I think that Diggs signing gave him a level of confidence in the passing game.
Yeah.
Because last year, like with John Brown and Cole Beasley, that's slot receivers. You got little guys
You
who
still
are
only have 2 people when it
cut over.
comes down to
And
it.
now you have like a legitimate deep threat for a guy who has a huge arm.
Yeah.
And you have to worry about that at any time because he can get the ball
Wherever he
all
wants
the way
it.
downfield.
You don't get 99 throwing power on Madden for no reason. I'll say that.
All right, next game, the Browns beat the no-name team.
Washington football team.
They destroyed them, Josh.
First off, we didn't get destroyed. We took a second half lead, and then Mr. Haskins wanted to just stop remembering that
Drop
the
off
team
Dwayne?
with brown jerseys
sorry,
didn't
dump
play
off-
for us.
dump off Dwayne is what I
Every
call
time
him.
they turned their game on red zone, he was getting sacked.
No, he didn't have that many sacks. I think
He must have in the fourth because I know when I started watching
Yeah,
it,
there was a
because
few.
he had a sack for a fumble by Miles,
by Myles Garrett. Yes, yes. There was that sack,
and he had
I
a
think
sack earlier. I think Garrett sacked him too.
that one wasn't a sack. That one he got back to the line of scrimmage and they were trying to say it was a sack, and I was like, it's not a sack if it's still 2nd and 10. But anyway,
I don't know,
I
man.
digress.
Dwayne
2nd and
Haskins
10 and a
is
half.
like he's Ryan Fitzpatrick with less shots downfield. That man is
Dang.
a check down artist.
Dang.
Wow.
Well, we don't have a line to even allow you to scan downfield, so it's kind of because he has an arm. He has a big arm. Everyone always talks about his arm talent, but
Dump off Dwayne.
it's right now.
Todd,
That's how
the
it's
Giants are in it.
0-3 and only a game out.
Only game out. So everyone is
The NFC East is terrible.
No,
Worst division
the
in football.
NFC East.
NFC East.
Yeah.
Don't watch your mouth.
That's what I said.
Oh no, I did hear you second.
Although-
it felt like you just
He
said
must
the
have
NFC
mumbled that.
East.
Todd, I
Just-
will say I am scared to death of Dallas's receiving core if they ever figure it out because they got a lot of talent there.
They do.
Which I'm surprised they haven't figured it out. We'll get to their game in a minute. But yeah, Washington 1-2 right now. But the fact that you're in that division, you're still in it.
True.
We'll see what happens. But Dallas has to win this division, right?
I can't see how they
if
don't.
If they don't win this division, what's going to happen?
No one else can get fired. They already did that. Now it's break up the team.
I mean, it would be. It would be don't sign Dak.
Yes.
Well, they shouldn't sign Dak for that much money anyway. Dak Prescott is not that good.
He's look. And
this
is coming from hate.
This needs to be a prove-it year for him. And so far,
he hasn't disproved it. I'll say that much. He had 400+ yards yesterday.
But you have to remember,
3 touchdowns.
They're throwing constantly because they're behind.
True.
And he has a ton of receiving talent. I think that Dak is probably closer to league average than the top of the league.
Wow, you think he's close to league average?
I'm saying closer to league average than
closer
to the top.
to the top.
There are multiple quarterbacks I would take over Dak.
I mean, I understand
multiple.
that. Well, here, I'll say it this way.
Let's keep going through the games because we're not even on Dallas yet.
Okay.
All right, Tennessee Titans 3-0, another 3-0 team that hasn't looked really good against the 0-3 Vikings. Beat them at home.
You are what your record is, and
Vikings are looking really bad right now.
Yes.
I mean, listen, good old Cousins. Cousins gonna Cousins, and to be winning the whole game and then slowly give it away and then still have a chance to win it.
But we keep saying that about Cousins, but the last 2 years in Minnesota, he's been good. He's been decent. They've got to the playoffs, right?
Cousins gonna Cousins.
I think they're an example. I mean, I think there's several examples of this, New Orleans being one as well, where the loss of some team's home field advantage, like that, Minnesota would be a lot tougher to go up there as Tennessee and win that game.
Well, the momentum shifts are much more glaring, I feel. You know, a lot of times your fans can give you that energy to thwart a momentum shift, whereas now it's like, oh, we can still, I can check with you at the line.
Yeah.
And I don't have to, they keep talking about how usually these teams are on silent counts.
Yeah.
In certain things, certain aspects of.
Now they don't have to be.
Now they don't have to be. So it's like, if you need that momentum as an offense on the road to just keep going, you can do it because there's nobody in there to really stop you.
Todd, how's our fantasy looking so far? Do you have that pulled up? If not, just pull it up and then we'll get to it in a minute.
I have it.
Okay.
There it is, Todd.
I think it's so hard to even say because we have between the Ravens and Chiefs played tonight, there's so much action in tonight's game.
Basically, yeah.
Well, listen, if Jimmy G plays tonight, I'll be.
So yeah, Kareem, myself, and Steve are 2-0. Stat Boy.
No, I mean for this week.
For this week?
Yeah. Where are we looking? What are
I know I'm 0-2.
Steve and Kareem were probably pretty safe.
Yeah.
Everyone else could move up or down, basically.
And it's 4 winners, 4 losers, right?
Yep.
Sweet.
I'm still in the top 4 right now.
Technically, I think you are.
So if the playoffs started tonight before this game,
you'd be.
I'd still be 1-2.
Yeah. But like I said, we have half the league playing tonight.
Cool.
Come on, Lamar Jackson.
All right, and we'll talk about that game in a minute. Let's run through some of these games. Raiders look like the normal Raiders now. They came back down to earth. They're 2-1. Got blown out by the Patriots. Cam Newton looks great. And each week that goes by, I just have to think that every team in the NFL, every team, I'm not even saying starting quarterbacks. No one even grabbed this dude, especially for the money he's making.
I don't feel bad.
He's not making any money right now, but nobody even grabbed him to be a backup. I mean, this dude is playing at a super high level. He looks like Cam again, which we knew if he got over those injuries, which time off does, he was going to be Cam again. He was going to look good again. No one gave him a chance. I don't get it. I don't understand why it took so long for somebody to sign him.
People hate Cam.
Well, the Bears could have signed him instead of paying Foles all that money to be a backup.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, you can go through every team really could have used him for at least to be a backup. But the Raiders signed Mariota. And they could have had Cam Newton.
You can't bring Cam in as backup.
Yeah.
Cam is the type of player you could not have brought in as a backup, because if you brought him in as a backup,
he'd be a
you were saying before the season that we have already given up on Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
You're saying in any of these cases, if you
that's how they felt about bringing Nick Foles in for that money.
But you could still sell Nick Foles as a backup.
But all the Chicago fans were still saying the same thing because.
Well, back to your point about the injuries, I think the main thing, and I want to say I've said this on here before, the only saving grace I can give teams is that with COVID, you couldn't actually go check on people. And so if you can't actually go see that his shoulder and his foot and all those things have healed, because he had started to look more like Clark Kent than Superman over the last 2 years because of the injuries, it does at least give teams a pass of, well, I don't know, because I don't know if he's 100%.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, that's the only saving grace I can give teams, because this year was weird. But I understand where you're coming from. I mean, there was plenty of teams that could have used him, should have used him, and now they are where they are.
He looks a little bit slower, but he's still getting the same moves. He's still getting to the same
Still
spot, so it doesn't matter
pounds.
how much slower he is. But, I mean, he looks great, and this is a Patriots team we didn't know where they were going to be.
Yep.
And they look like the Patriots, and he looks like Cam, and they're married together right now. And it's actually a fun team to watch. It's a team I hate. It's my top 3 teams of hate that I have. But I actually love watching them this year because of Cam, and because seeing that everyone thought the mighty Patriots were going down once Tom Brady left, and now you're seeing that maybe Belichick was, the key to all of this.
It's a whole different dimension.
And you can plug and play all these other players, but we never really got to see the plug and play except with Castle and whenever Brady got hurt, we saw some plug and play.
Yeah, or suspended.
Well, but the flip side you have to remember too is no team lost more players to opting out than the Patriots did.
Yes, they did. That's
so the
very
fact that they're
true.
doing this without some of their real
I
most important
forgot
players.
all about that.
I
Dave.
did forget about that.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
That's a great point.
It's a testament to the
How many
system.
players they had? And there was a lot of starters.
They lost.
They lost like 8-9 starters.
Yeah.
Wow.
A lot on the defense, and the defense is what they're leaning on.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought back the defensive player of the year, so that
doesn't hurt.
They kept their most important.
I mean, honestly, I was looking at the numbers. Cam didn't put up great numbers yesterday. 17 for 28, 162 yards, a touchdown and an interception, and 9 rushes for 27 yards. So not great, but he didn't. I mean, he
also
turnover.
had a terrible start too.
He did have a terrible start, but the defense is what put them in good positions. They had short field a lot, and they capitalized. So and just did good, coaching against John Gruden.
Sometimes coaching matchups mean a lot.
So
some people like Gruden.
Hey, Gruden has his ring.
I thought he played a better game against Seattle last week.
Oh, Cam, yeah. I mean,
Cam
that game.
Cam had a great game.
That
against
game
Seattle.
was serious last week.
Well, but you have to. I think with yesterday we saw it with Jamal Adams. Not to jump to a different team, but with Jamal Adams hurt, Seattle's defense is terrible.
Yeah, it
their
becomes very
defense is
average.
plain awful. Like Russell Wilson is putting up crazy numbers, and it has to because he has no choice. They cannot stop anything.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
All right, moving on to the next game. Todd, show your shirt again. You guys know what team we're going to be talking about. A blowout in New York, and this time not knees. There was blowouts last week.
Poor Saquon. I like Saquon.
It was close for a good minute.
Yeah.
I mean,
the first half
was a one-score
I mean, when the game starts, it's 0-0.
I hate you so much.
Yeah,
what happened?
The first half was 16-6, so it wasn't really that close.
No, 16 to.
At halftime, it was 16-6.
Yeah.
Was it?
But that was they had a late score right before.
Well, Daniel Pennies did what he does, which is a whole lot of nothing.
The 49ers won 36-9. Mullins 343 yards, touchdown 25 for 36.
I might take Jimmy G's starting spot. When's the last time Jimmy G threw 300 plus yards?
I'm telling you,
they don't let him throw that much, which is telling that why did you let Mullins throw that much?
Coming off the bench.
Well,
it was in street
Mullins
clothes.
is I don't
Mullins
care
had
who
some
disagrees.
good games when Jimmy G was out 2 years ago.
I don't know that Mullins is any worse than Garoppolo. He may actually be better, but they paid Garoppolo the money, so he has to start.
And he's a good-looking guy. You gotta.
He's very good-looking. We all know this.
You gotta run with it.
But
I'm just saying from a marketing standpoint.
But Mullins is probably a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. That's my personal opinion. Jimmy Garoppolo did go to a Super Bowl last year.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, the defense took him there, but he did go to a Super Bowl.
He was carried, or a piggyback route.
He took the Trent Dilfer route.
Yeah.
But that was a blowout, Todd. Sorry.
It was a blowout. The Giants were not very good.
I mean, especially without Saquon.
Saquon's out for the year. But 49ers have a lot of injuries, so
they do.
Any injuries in the game yesterday?
The 49ers had 40% of their salary cap on the field yesterday.
Guess who got
dominated?
In the second half, their second. My Giant friends are like, the second string team is destroying us.
Yes,
they ran up
that
the score.
Happened.
I was just like,
guess who got hurt yesterday for the 49ers?
It's Kyle Shanahan.
No.
Oh, hey, you were wishing it last week.
Jordan Reed.
Oh,
Jordan
yeah,
Reed did
yeah.
get hurt.
Just an ankle, but a Jordan Reed ankle could
Linger for
Maybe
6 weeks.
exactly.
I've had it on fantasy before. It's just
That's Jordan Reed for you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Trent Williams, it's coming.
Well, like I said, you saw that with Jordan Reed. Like when the season started, he started with that crazy game. I'm like, ooh, countdown to that injury is in effect.
Why are you always wishing injuries on my team?
It's not wishing, it's
No.
gonna-
It's
No,
because,
he did.
because,
He
because
said
bo-
Trent Wi-
No, listen, because both of them were members of my team. And every year,
He
we're like,
knows.
oh, yeah, we're going to be good. We're going to be this. We're going to be that. Snap,
All right.
crackle, pop. Dang, it's week 7. It's going to be a long road.
Next game, we have the tie, Eagles and Bengals. We're not going to talk about that anymore. Steelers beat the Texans, another 3-0 team. They've looked decent, but they haven't looked great. But they're undefeated right now.
Their defense looks pretty good.
But against a Texans team that is just, if they win 4 games, I'll be surprised.
But the Texans also had a ridiculous first 3 games. They started off with
yeah, they're going to win more than 4 games. Look who they played.
They played the Chiefs, the Ravens, and now Steelers, which are all
So they should be
undefeated.
0-3.
That's a murderer's row.
That's murder row right there.
First 3.
Listen,
Hey, remember,
Texans-
they have the Colts twice, the Jaguars twice. Tennessee, I mean, they're probably going to have a tough time with. Their schedule starts lightening up a lot. They're going to have more
That's
than
probably
4
the hardest.
4 games.
That's probably the hardest 3 games.
4 games,
you can drop.
Quastradamus, 4 games.
Wow.
All right. I mean, I don't lose anything if I lose, so that's a good thing about Quastradamus. Colts destroyed the Jets. Jets just are maybe the worst team in the league. I mean,
Trevor
we're-
Lawrence
we're-
watch is
the
in
Giants might
heavy
be worse.
effect.
I don't know who's worse. The Giants might be worse.
They should just have to play each other every week.
A lot of sadness in New York right now. I mean, the Jets fans are getting gazed. That's all I have to say.
Well, but
Wow.
then again, if you're a Jets fan, you're used to this feeling.
Yeah.
That sucks.
This is the
though,
life that
man.
you live.
Like, listen. I can, as a person that comes from quite a sad fan base, it's not fun. And you've lived this out
real
too.
quick.
Of course I
Though,
have.
your fan base, you've won. The Jets fan. I mean, when's the especially
Joe Willie.
but and people our age weren't around when that happened.
not
So
at
at
all.
least you've had.
Well, they have some
Success.
Sanchez success.
I mean, even Dave.
Rex.
I mean, he hasn't won a Super Bowl, but getting to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row is still an amazing thing
That'll
They were
never
a great
for a
team.
team to
that'll
do.
never ever be duplicated again. I don't think.
Not the way the NFL is set up now.
If
But
the Patriots couldn't do it, no one's doing it.
yeah. And then Todd, his team is horrible, and they still win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, they have won in the recent
They,
past.
shoot, they've
Yeah.
won. They won.
They've won 2
9 and
With a
7.
special needs quarterback, they won 2.
Wow.
Future Hall of Famer.
Oh my God.
He is.
And that's the worst part is he will be.
He will be first ballot too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
will
just
be.
off
I
of
can't
the
wait
name.
to see his stupid look with his dumb face on his Hall of Fame bus, and I'm just gonna be like, man, that's a Hall of Famer. That's what a Hall of Famer is now, with these
Now.
inflated passing stats.
No.
Oh my gosh, he's
All right.
such garbage.
All right. We got to make sure we steer Dave off of the hateful things.
I got it.
So
it.
there's some things we just
difficult.
know not to bring up.
It's too difficult.
He has triggers.
He definitely does.
definitely has triggers.
I have
But the
nothing
good thing is we know most of his triggers.
That's true.
And Eli is definitely a major trigger.
that's a
A
trigger.
major trigger.
Going back to the Giants, they lost.
Oh, you want to go back 3
Yeah, I
games?
do want
All
to
right,
go
ahead.
because they haven't won a game, but they're scheduled. They played the Steelers. who
Does it
haven't
lighten up?
Steelers haven't lost yet. The Bears haven't lost yet, and they lost to the Niners, who are superior. And they were in it at the end of the Cardinal game so the Niners could definitely be undefeated right now. If it was fourth quarter, Kyler Murray made a couple plays.
They should be.
So and they could have won against the Bears. Like they had the ball and they didn't pull it off.
Yeah.
So
The Giants.
yeah, the
Well,
Giants.
Saquon had a garbage game that game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, next game real quick. Panthers beat the Chargers. That's
That
a
was-
bad loss. That's a
That
bad
was
loss for
surprising.
LA.
We
Herbert got hurt.
all of us picked.
But Herbert got hurt.
He did.
That does a lot.
When did he get hurt?
was it
fairly-
Was it
second,
early?
Second, I feel like.
It was like second quarter.
Yeah.
Okay.
It affected the
He still
game.
had 330 yards.
But did he?
He came back in, but I mean, he wasn't right. I like Herbert. I think losing Derwin James already, I think they're going to be
Yeah.
okay, that they're just going to be an okay team.
Probably 6 or 7 wins. I think.
Yeah, I think a 8-8 would be, I think, a real good season for them, because I think they have a lot of talent on defense, but losing James is a bad thing. But they have the holes they have are real holes.
Yeah.
All right.
What's the next one?
Tom Brady went into Denver and does what he does.
In front of the South Park
In front of
crowd.
South Park. I loved it.
That was too good.
That was amazing.
Did you see the video?
They all had masks too.
They did. I didn't see that they all
had masks on.
That's dope. Yeah. No, I mean, listen. Tom Brady is still, like I said from the week one, he's still Tom Brady. He became the oldest person ever to throw for 3 touchdowns yesterday in a game.
It's great.
I mean,
He's not quite Tom Brady anymore, but he's Tom Brady enough.
And if he has, like, I'll say this, if he has a B team, he can turn a B team to an A team just from being him.
I think over the course of this season, they'll continue to look better. They'll continue to figure more things, because especially since the way he plays and the way Arians designs games are very different.
Yeah.
So I think the more that they get on the same page, that team offensively has enough weapons to be scary as long as they're healthy.
They also beat the Broncos.
Their uniforms are also a huge improvement over last year.
Pewter jerseys?
Those were nice. Those were nice. Their uniforms the last couple years were
I googled
a travesty.
Just to
just to make sure that
Those
that
are
was
nice
that was
uniforms.
Next
man.
game, we got the Lions beating the Cardinals in Arizona, which I love that game. Cardinals are 2-1 now. Lions, one of those teams that they'll win some big games and then lose bad games and then win some big games. And
it's called Matt Patricia being your coach.
He's not.
Was that
consistent.
let me see. Hold on.
Stafford's still a good quarterback.
That was one. That was the one where Quan separated himself. Because you were the only person that took the Lions.
Hey, I knew
just
it was
going
to happen.
No.
Well, in the Lions,
listen, Lions were in the first 2 games and they lost.
They were in the worst 2 games without Galladay, who their clear best receiver.
Yes.
One was a drop pass in the end zone that would have won the game for them.
That was a bad drop.
And they were up in that game. Who was it?
Swift
who was that
got out of town.
Who was that
the
against?
Bears?
That was against the Bears.
Yeah.
Week 1, right?
So it's a bad drop.
Horrible drop. And so Lions are a good team. They're a solid team.
And Adrian Peterson had 23 touches yesterday.
Stafford is good. Stafford is a really good quarterback.
Stafford never stopped being good as long as Stafford is healthy and right.
Well, and that's the problem. He gets hurt. The second half of every year.
He does.
But I mean, that's also just from the clear straight-on hits he has to take with the lack of an offensive line.
No line.
We talked about it already, kind of. Seattle beat the Cowboys. Cowboys had the lead. Russell Wilson, once again,
is the MVP
comeback.
candidate right now?
And shouldn't have had the lead, considering DK Metcalf's incredibly stupid play.
Oh my God,
horrible play.
Hey, but then
how are players still doing this?
But wait, but then
to get the game winner. Yeah, he saved himself from a lot.
You atone.
If they lose that game, he's catching.
Today's the day of atonement.
That's right.
But Dallas had a chance to come back, and they got there, but couldn't get it. Couldn't get it all the way. Dak had an impressive. He broke a couple sacks at the that last play.
He did.
That was a nice play.
But then he threw the interception because he was breaking sacks.
Because there was no more time.
Russell Wilson has the record for the most touchdown passes
and through the first 3 weeks.
14 is a lot.
14. And I was surprised when I heard that, because I thought Mahomes did that 2 years ago, probably.
He had the record.
He had like a 7, almost. It was like.
Yeah, yes,
but he broke Mahomes' record, and I think it was 13.
That's crazy.
He's having a Madden numbers year so far.
Well,
after
their
3
defense
weeks,
is bad enough he has to.
MVP candidate right now.
Well, Tony Dungy.
Let's stop. It's week 3.
Well, I'll say this. Tony Dungy was talking about it last night on Sunday Night Football, and he was basically saying he's in a position similar to what Peyton was in. What was it when the Colts first started to really get good, but their defense was absolute hot trash juice, and Peyton had to score. It was like, well, if I don't score, the defense is gonna let them score, so I have to outscore them.
This is like the retribution for all the people all those years where like unleash Russ, and this is the first year that they finally flat out had to.
Yeah.
And I used to think he was more of a game manager. I didn't think he was a great quarterback. I was wrong, man. That guy is unbelievable.
We had Cream's boy Aaron last year when we did the over unders.
Yes.
From where was he from? Golden Nugget.
Nugget
Sportsbook. And he doesn't like Russell Wilson at all. And there's a lot of people that have that same feeling. And listen, he's been in my division, so
he's good.
he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
I thought he was good.
But we do have to chill on the MVP candidate talk in
Thank
week
you.
3 because they were
It's too
doing
early.
it. They were doing it in week 2.
It's too early.
They're doing it constantly this year,
Yeah.
and it's like, yes, just wait for it tonight's game.
But
I mean, good
sometimes you
lord.
have
It's going to be
those-
crazy tonight.
Sometimes
with
you
MVP
have
talk.
like those perennial guys that are in it every year. Like before the NBA season can start, you can narrow it down to
5 guys.
not 3 guys probably.
Yeah, truthfully, that's true. And look, I mean, it's a narrative to kind of talk about throughout the year. With Lamar,
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
just wait to say that after week 2 that he's at the top of the list of MVP candidates right now. It's like stop.
They
like
do it with Heisman.
We barely. Well, Heisman's different. There's not near as many college games as NFL. So
Especially this year.
Yeah, but there's a lot more players and potential.
very true.
I feel.
Very
yeah, one thing we won't be talking about is college football today. Even though
Yeah,
there was some
it's
upsets,
travesty.
but
I don't
it's
even
hard dealing with.
College football should
yeah.
not be happening.
All right, next game, last game Sunday night. The Packers going to New Orleans, beat the Saints. Saints look a little more human this year.
Well, Michael Thomas, their best
Michael
receiver's out. Some of the
That's
guys
fine,
are
but they
playing
have
okay
another
in
good
his stead.
receiver that they're not really getting the ball to.
Okay.
Emmanuel Sanders is good, but he's not Michael Thomas.
no,
Yeah.
of
He's
course
not Michael Thomas, but he's still a good replacement.
He's
Not
good,
even.
but I will say, they did say that last night
He's
that
a complimentary
yeah,
player.
maybe this game will be the game where they actually really start to get him involved. And he had, I feel like did he have a touchdown or he had maybe he dropped a
But he's
touchdown
not a
yesterday?
lead receiver. He's
a complimentary.
He's a
piece.
good second receiver for you.
and a
If
great
he's your lead
third.
receiver, yeah, an unbelievable third. But like if you're relying on him to be the guy that goes out and wins a game for you
He's not that
against
guy.
the best cover, no, that's not him.
Yeah.
Saints are 1-2. Packers another 3-0 team. So
And they look like a legit
They look
3-0.
like a 3-0 team. So let's go through the undefeated teams so far in the early.
One shall fall to
I
that.
got,
So we have-
I got Buffalo.
Yes.
Well, technically the Chiefs because they haven't played yet.
Well, and let's talk
Well, you're
about
getting
it.
one tonight.
Let's talk about it. Are they legit? Undefeated teams, or is it like the Bears? We said they.
When we
they
say
look bad. So
legit, do you mean
Buffalo,
a Super Bowl contender
well,
or
legit
can make
like
a run in the playoffs?
do they look like a 3-0 team?
Yeah. Okay, go
Start
ahead.
with Buffalo.
Yeah, go ahead and run through all of them.
All right, so we got Buffalo Bills.
They look legit.
They are.
They look
That's
legit.
3-0 team.
And they're in a division where now it's basically them and the Patriots.
It's two teams.
All right.
The other two.
Kansas City
run through
is 2-0. They played tonight.
very
They're,
legit.
of course, legit.
Definitely
Steelers
Super
are
Bowl
3-0.
legit, but with Roethlisberger, we don't know with his age and his injury history if he's going to last.
They're not legit enough to beat the truly legit
The other
team
legit
in their
team
division.
in their division.
Baltimore.
Yeah,
Very legit.
flat out legit.
Which they could be 2-1 today.
Could be.
Ten-
but I mean,
Still would be legit.
Tennessee Titans.
To me, not.
Division.
Yeah,
By
they're with the
division.
division, but as far as contender, as far as looking like one of the best teams,
Well,
I don't know. They're
I would
this is the
say no.
same team as last year.
That's what I'm saying. Like that playoff style. Once it gets cold,
They had a
and we
shot to be
can't-
in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you can't throw it around the lot all day.
Yeah.
And we can just run over you.
Well,
They're legit.
once you get late in the season and starting to tackle Derrick Henry starts becoming something that players do
Don't
not feel
like.
like doing.
all right, Todd.
Tennessee Titans have more wins than the whole NFC East combined. It's a true stat.
ahead.
So now to the NFC, we have Seattle, which we just talked about. I mean, with Russell Wilson, yes, but their defense is suspect.
Legit with questions.
The NFC East is 2-9-1 right now.
Yep.
That's crazy.
I love it.
And then you got the Packers and the Bears in the NFC North.
And by the way, Dallas should have lost the game that they won.
So
Truthfully, good
Packers, yes. Bears, not at all.
Yeah, I
Bear-
would
give me-
agree with that.
give me a
Although I
week.
would say I'm more worried.
Bears had 3 games where they could have easily lost.
I'm more worried of a Nick Foles Bears team. Than
Yeah,
a-
that's what I'm saying.
than
Give me a
Trubisky
week
Bears
to at
team.
least see what they are next week. After next week, I can tell
That's
you
it.
how I really feel.
That's where all the
Yeah.
3-0 teams.
All right, there we go. And then,
undefeated.
so tonight's game, who do we have? Kansas City versus Ravens. I picked Kansas City,
Yes,
In
you
this
and
game.
I were the Kansas
Okay.
City picks, and then
and we didn't get
Kareem-
their picks.
I want to see Kansas City win.
You guys
for
need to start
fantasy,
texting your picks.
fantasy. I will do that for fantasy implications. I just feel like the Ravens D is gonna make a play in the fourth quarter, and they're gonna get the win.
I think that this Chiefs team is on a mission. They kind of fell asleep against the Chargers a little bit last week. Division game.
That was first week.
No, that was last week.
Last
Was
week.
that last week?
Yeah, they played the Texans the first week.
Yes, they did.
I think the Chiefs are a real good team this year. Not that the Ravens aren't, but I think the Chiefs are the clear number one team in football.
I mean, Lamar's on my fantasy team, so I want it to be a not a high scoring game because I also have the Ravens defense. So hopefully it's at least interesting. I got Tyreek Hill too, so I got a lot of people.
Yeah.
I need scores, but not too many.
All right, and then so that's it for the NFL, folks. Let's move on to, you want NBA or UFC? Todd, I'll let you pick.
Well, if you guys want to talk about UFC, you should.
Well, we're going to talk
I'm
about it. I mean, what do you want to talk about now?
I didn't watch the fight, so.
Todd, you could have bluffed through that.
Let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Can we? Please?
We would have walked you through that.
Can we talk about the Lakers?
Wait, how'd you not watch the fight, though?
Well, I got invited to 2 different watch parties, actually.
And
didn't go to either.
Didn't go to
Well,
either?
you know what happened? He got so used to the watch parties being hosted at his own home,
That's
not
right.
by him, that he's like, I have to leave to go?
I
I'll
know.
be
Pass.
honest. I think he sits there. I think they have their pulled pork and all that ready, and we don't show up. They're like, I don't know what's going on, but they never show up to our party. Just him and Lorelai
The Buffalo Dip.
and all the kids.
So
Well, there's so many more kids now,
we have
too.
family in town staying with us. It's just a lot right now.
Todd, you have professionals.
That never stopped him before from
I know.
inviting people to your house.
Todd, you have professionals working around you. We would have worked you through not knowing anything
No.
about the fights.
Yeah, I'm just saying I haven't. So
Okay, so we'll talk about the NBA. I just gave you a pick.
Aren't you
just have
excited
a
to talk
pick.
about the Lakers, Mark?
Of course, I'm excited. You got the Lakers. You got the Lakers right over your shoulder.
That's how I've lived my entire life.
Can I tell you a funny story about that sign right there?
Did you get that for me?
I did get that for you back in the day, Josh.
Along with bobblehead Kobe.
So you know what I did? I bought that one Christmas for Quan, but what I did was I took a piece of yellow tape and I crossed out the bottom part of the L, and I got purple tape and I made 2 lines on the top of the L and said Faker Nation, and that's when I gave it to him.
But that was your dad's because he would always call them the Fakers.
Yeah.
Oh no,
So that was his
the Fakers.
man. But listen, I took the tape off and it said Lakers.
It's a good
so I
name for
was
most
happy.
of their fans. Anyway,
Whoa.
Those are some straight shots.
Whoa.
It's like a lot of
Straight down the middle.
Clippers people are coming back.
Who?
to LA, yeah.
there are no Clipper fans.
I know some. We've had some call in the show.
There are some. But they
Okay,
usually
Clipper Darryl, Billy Crystal.
No,
Have I got them all?
A lot of the old school Clipper fans are people that really legit couldn't afford Laker games. They would go to Clipper games, and
but they're actually Laker fans. They can afford Laker tickets.
Well.
So there are Clipper
they
fans.
became Clipper fans. All right,
Give it up.
you want to talk about it, Todd? Because I think
We're already
everyone.
there
Did, I think at least these two said that Lakers weren't going to get to the finals with LeBron.
I did.
When did I say that?
I didn't
2
say they
years ago
weren't.
when LeBron got signed, and then
With
last
that,
year
with that team,
and then
yes.
well, we knew there was going to be changes. What LeBron team? When has he ever went somewhere without them changing the whole entire team?
Like I said,
Rehash
Josh
this.
thought we gave up too much for Anthony Davis,
no, you never give up too much for a player of that caliber.
but now Lakers are in the NBA Finals. It's in the bubble.
And the Pelicans are not.
The Pelicans are not. The Pelicans didn't even make the playoffs.
They did not.
They did not make the playoffs.
This is the one sport
They
where
barely made the bubble.
you give up whatever for superstars because they mean too much. So it didn't seem to matter that to be honest, most of the rest of the Lakers roster is pretty much garbage.
I wouldn't mind them throwing Kuzma into that trade right now.
Kuzma,
Like, hey,
Kuzma-
New Orleans, we forgot something. Go
yeah,
ahead.
Kuzma sucked then, and Kuzma sucks now, and it doesn't matter. They're still in the NBA Finals.
He was better then, though. He played better his rookie
Well,
year than
no.
he is now.
He doesn't fit with LeBron.
Exactly. No. Listen.
But
listen.
looking lost as a player, even on defense, that
Confidence.
But by the way, the
I
Pelicans.
can't put that on LeBron when you just look lost on the defensive end.
Well, that's because he got propped up like he was a star because he's a Laker. If he
And I
wasn't a
never thought he was
Laker,
a star.
if he wasn't a Laker, only people
wouldn't know him.
only people like us who watch a ton of NBA
would know who he is.
would know his name. Like
Yeah.
he's a fine, okay player.
him
His
being
name
in,
should not be brought up
Well,
so much.
he is exactly who you are as an agent when you're like, yeah, see, if this is the reason why you need to go to this market. Because if you would have been Kyle Kuzma on the Orlando Magic or on the Charlotte Hornets,
his name
we would
be
not know him.
But I think he'd be a better player there.
But he would not have a Puma deal. You understand what I'm saying?
No, he would have no deal.
Yeah, let's face it. Obviously, where you go is
he wouldn't have had sexual relations with the owner.
Wow.
Next up, happy birthday, Jeannie Buss, by the way.
Is it really? Shut
It was
up.
on Friday.
Oh, okay. All right.
I wonder what Kyle got her.
No, it was on Saturday when Lakers.
Where do you
won.
get a woman that has it all?
Kyle Kuzma, evidently.
Yeah.
I was
Wow.
gonna say something, but that is not.
Your mom's watching.
Does Phil Jackson know about this?
Wow.
Phil moved on.
Wow. All right. But listen, there's a lot of players on the Lakers that you're just like, he hasn't been playing good. He hasn't been playing good. But Lakers are they've been tearing it up in the playoffs, even though they haven't even looked like we expect them to look yet. But playoff Rondo is a legit thing. So we have playofful P, and we have playoff Rondo. There's only one of them is actually legit in the playoffs, and that's Rondo. And he's proven it again this year. He's looked amazing, and just calms the team down when he comes in.
Listen, I've said this from the beginning. When the beginning of the season, when you guys got so many people with championship experience, you can say whatever you want about Danny Green, but he's won what 3 titles now.
Danny Green looks like pure trash.
No, but I say that just because when you switch it up and you say, okay, well, JaVale McGee,
he's got rings.
He was a piece, but he's also been a big piece on big championship teams.
Wait, JaVale's been a big piece?
JaVale McGee.
Big, you mean big by size?
No.
Yes.
Listen, JaVale McGee on the Warriors, he was a very important piece.
He played 15 minutes a game,
if that.
But what I'm saying, because remember I'm trying to think of the child's name.
Child.
Dang it.
Yoda? Baby
No,
Yoda?
the big fella that got hurt.
University of Nevada, Wolfpack.
You know what I'm talking about.
Luke Longley?
No.
Andrew Bogut?
Andrew Bogut.
Okay.
When Andrew Bogut got hurt, a lot of their action, you have to understand the way they play. He might have only played 15 minutes, but a lot of the actions that they did
He wasn't near as important as Andrew Bogut was to them.
But Andrew Bogut got hurt and then left the team. They stopped having Andrew Bogut. He became the new Andrew Bogut with a little bit more of a he was a much more athletic skill set.
I
Andrew
cannot
Bogut
agree
wasn't,
with this in any way, shape, or form.
Listen, Andrew Bogut wasn't catching those oops.
Yeah, but Andrew Bogut, he's dirty as can be, but he a fantastic defensive player.
Moving on, it's
good
all right.
passer. You could run parts of the offense with him that you could
yes,
never with JaVale.
That you couldn't, but then there was other parts of the offense that weren't
this
necessarily
is
available.
a lot about JaVale McGee. All I'm saying is it's just further proof that when you have the highest of high-level superstars, in the NBA, it kind of doesn't necessarily matter what the rest of your roster is, as long as the rest of them know how to shut up and get out of the way
and play a role. And they're all playing a role right now.
Yeah,
nobody's
some of them aren't even
getting
playing their role well, and they're still in the finals.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I mean,
but you have Dwight Howard looking better than anybody expected him to look right now.
No, he looked good last year for the Wizards before he got hurt.
Well, and that's the thing. Nobody thought he was going to be healthy again to be able to do what
everybody
he's
thought
doing
he'd
right
be an
now.
idiot by some point and be shipped out by now. At least I thought so.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I knew he knew it was his last straw in the NBA. So and to be able to go to a team that has legit opportunity to go to the championship, I think you're going to respect LeBron a little more than you respected James Harden and whoever was in Charlotte or Washington or
and the LeBron
Atlanta.
factor is huge because I think he had to
and
know.
Anthony Davis.
But still, Anthony Davis is one thing, but LeBron, like, all he had to do was mess around and fart on LeBron in practice once, and you're out of the league.
Yeah.
You're not coming back this next time. Yeah. So he has to be on best behavior all the time because LeBron won't stand for it.
Yeah.
All right, Lakers won every series 4-1 so far. They got the Miami Heat. Miami, I should have picked them I picked them off air to go to the finals.
Let's talk about Miami's playoff journey a little bit.
That's what I was doing.
Good.
All right, so Todd wants to talk about Miami.
He was about to go to picks before we even talk about the Heat.
What was I talking about just now?
Okay.
I was talking about the Miami Heat.
Go ahead, get it out.
I was saying how I picked the Miami Heat off air, but picked Toronto on air.
Yeah.
Which I regret doing because I never thought
I
never thought Toronto was going to the finals. It was one of those things that we were just doing picks randomly and we didn't think about it. And
I
picked Toronto.
I don't know if you like when we made the pick of
I picked Toronto on there.
Yeah, when we
picked Lakers and Toronto for the finals.
But hey, listen, guys.
But I've been picking all year that Miami was gonna. I said they were gonna beat Milwaukee.
Yeah, you did.
They've looked like the best team. They have a really good coach. Jimmy Butler is really good. I didn't expect some of these young players to be as good as they are.
I did not.
Tyler Hero.
Iguodala, I knew was going to be a good addition, especially for right now. He hasn't played a lot of the playoffs, but last couple games he's been playing more, and I think they've been giving him more time going into the finals because they know they want to try to match him up against LeBron. But listen, man, this Miami team is a complete team. They have every position full. They're just good. They like playing together. They like playing together, and that makes a big difference when you have a team like this that believes in each other, that all knows their role. No one needs to be the superstar that night, and that's why Miami's in the NBA Finals, first time since the Big Three.
And they're scary 14. In a lot of different ways. I mean, they can defend you. That zone is going to be the Lakers will have problems with that zone because they're definitely not a strong shooting team. I mean, I don't think anybody could make that claim. They have nobody's shutting LeBron down, but you have guys to throw at him.
Yeah.
You can throw Butler for a while, you can throw you can Crowder for a while, you can throw Iguodala, you can throw Bam if Davis is not in the game.
Yeah.
So you got a lot of things. But I was thinking earlier, I was like, a lot of people with their picks, they ended up being right. A lot of people thought we were going to get Antetokounmpo and Leonard in the finals. We just had the wrong ones.
Yeah.
We just had Thanasis and Myers Leonard instead of
Kawhi
and Giannis.
That's
funny, Dave.
But we got it.
You did get the matchup, just not the right bodies.
Do you want to talk about Miami, Todd?
Yeah, they've been impressive. I mean, I know the Eastern Conference isn't as stacked, I think, as the Western Conference, but I think their
that's
road,
putting it mildly.
Yeah. But
wait.
They
I don't believe that. I feel like the best teams in the East are better overall than the West.
Well, and I think
because the East had 4 legit championship contenders. I feel like the West only had
Miami
Lakers
had to play better teams
and Clippers.
Miami had to play better teams to get to the finals.
Yes,
because you have to remember. They played.
Everyone picked Milwaukee. Everyone picked Boston.
They played a scrappy Indiana team who I always thought that they were going to beat.
Yeah.
Talking about Indiana, did you guys see
we'll talk about that
okay,
in a minute,
all right.
But that was number one. Then they get Milwaukee, who they were just they're a nightmare matchup for Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's not a bad team. I think they're just a better regular season team than a playoff team. And then that Boston team is no slouch. They just
can't get it done.
They were missing some key ingredients. The way that they played, the zone really messed them up, and Spoelstra just flat out coached Brad Stevens.
I would agree with that.
I'm happy for Eric Spoelstra because when it came down to it, for many years when he had LeBron, I was like, Spoelstra can't coach. And I knew his background. I knew he came from basketball, and then his dad was a coach and all those things. I personally didn't think he could coach. After LeBron left and he had his moment to kind of show that he wasn't just there being propped up, he wasn't a Pat Riley, just newcomer. He's really shown a lot. Just in terms of both.
He's a good coach.
Yeah, just in terms of both changing strategy to in-game adjustments.
And see, that's one of his best things. I mean, I think Nick Nurse is probably the best in the league at it. But I think that Spoelstra is way up there. And as far as his ability to adapt, those two probably are head and shoulders above everybody else in the league right now. As far as if you look at Miami right now, they change. They have a team that's built to change to fit the situation. I mean, a lot of that has to do with having Bam Adebayo, who makes that more easily.
I love Bam.
I hope he gets these couple days off and can rehab his arm, because that was something that
did it look bad yesterday. I don't think it really looked bad yesterday.
They were.
He looked fine yesterday.
The simple fact that we don't know what it is. Yeah, I mean, it could be one of those things where it's up and down. You just don't know. But now you have a few days off.
All right, Todd. I know you wanted to talk more about Miami. Were you done?
I mean, I like their chances against the Lakers.
Okay.
What
do you let Todd talk? You guys keep talking over. You guys have stole the mic from Todd 16 times. So
go ahead.
Go ahead, Todd.
16 times.
Well, Dave hasn't been here for a year, so he's getting all this talking.
He's excited, and Dave loves
basketball. I can't imagine if Cream was here too.
It's for the best that this is what we got.
So, Todd, you think Miami's going to beat the Lakers?
I don't know if they can beat the Lakers, but I feel like they're going to make it really interesting. I feel like they're a little deeper than the Lakers, and I think they can match up and give them some issues, like personnel-wise. Dave talked about the zone a little bit, like more strategic, but I just think like personnel-wise, I think we talked about who's going to match up against LeBron, who's going to match up against some of the Heat players. Like, they have a lot of guys,
Yeah.
So, and it's not, and if you look at like the playoff runs, like different guys have been doing it not every series, but every night.
Every night,
yeah. The top 2-3 guys they've been, it's like 5 or 6 guys.
And last night you didn't even really have anybody that
just
shined.
went all the way
Everybody
off.
played. Everybody played
I think
great.
Butler only averaged 16 points per game in the playoffs or something.
Yeah.
You
He's
think,
been like the third leading scorer.
And he had a lot. He had 20 something last night.
No, I have one question for everybody. Now, since we did talk about Spoelstra a little bit, Spoelstra coached LeBron for what, 3 or 4 years? 4 years.
That's true. That's an edge
so,
too.
So
But it's an edge for LeBron too, knowing how he coaches.
Well, but my job is to coach. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so if I've seen you and I know you down to your DNA and marrow in terms of what you might say or think in this situation.
But this is a different version of LeBron.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that this is not the same LeBron at all.
But I think
he's a way
Spoelstra
different player.
is a different coach. Spoelstra is also a great adapter. I think your question has to be for this series. My one question is, we know that the 2 best players in this series play for the Lakers. That's without any level of dispute. How many more players do you have to go down the line before you have another Laker? Because there's definitely at least 5 members of the Heat who you'd take over any other Laker but those 2. A minimum of 5. So it's like your question is, how far personally do you have to go down the line?
Like
so do you think
like they're top heavy, but
do you think that the team that an adaptable team with a high level coach can beat 2 of the best 5 players on earth
in the league? Yeah.
So that's your real question, because I mean, it's anybody that thinks that Miami's getting walked over is insane.
And the thing with the Lakers too, they always have someone else step up too. You talk about everyone in Miami steps up. You have role players step up. You have Caruso step up for a game. I already talked about Rondo. We talked about Dwight Howard. Lakers still got size again in this series. So kind of like with Denver, Lakers have size. I think they got more size this time because you don't have a Jokic in the middle. You know what I'm saying? And so I think they're going to have a lot of problems with Anthony Davis in this series.
Do they pull out Udonis Haslem?
No.
Does he make
to make a speech? Sure.
He's Juwan Howard in what year was Juwan still playing in the league?
Like
Miami?
12, 13?
or 13.
Yeah, it's
where you're a coach just getting paid as a player.
Just coach.
I just think that superstars mean too much in the NBA, and you only need a little bit of contributions from the other guys,
which is what they get. I'm still taking Lakers in 5 just because I've said it.
No way 5
No,
games.
Lakers in 5.
No way.
And they'll all be good games, but Lakers in 5.
They'll all be good.
I
It'll be
never
a really close series.
they'll
Lakers
be
in
all
5.
5
I never
wins.
pick a 7-game series, but this series feels like a 7-game series. So I'm gonna say 6. I wish I could say Miami, and I hope Miami wins. But I mean, when you have the 2 best players in the series in the NBA,
it's hard.
That's really tough to overcome. I mean, and it's also a battle of, the 2 fan bases that leave the arena the fastest. We don't get to see empty seats at the end of either game like we normally would. I mean, they're all empty seats now, but
Todd, who are you picking? You have two choices. Josh, who you got?
I think the Lakers are going to win.
Oh, you're back.
I'm really rooting for the Heat.
Okay, well, your hair looks really good. Josh, who you got?
Thanks.
I mean, everything in me wants the Heat to win.
guys-
me too, Josh. Me too.
I'm in a room full of haters.
Like, to my marrow, I don't want this for you.
It's gonna be bad.
If it was Kobe, I would 100% be on
It's
your.
for
on your
Kobe.
team. No, it's not.
No, it's for
No, it's
Kobe.
not. No, it's not.
They said it. They said it was.
Don't even let
Mamba
that.
on 3. 1, 2, 3. Mamba.
Yeah. Don't
All right.
let that be the narrative.
All right.
I don't want to take it away from LeBron. That's just his 10th finals. 10th.
And it's Lakers 8th, I
Insane.
think. In
He's also
in the 2000s.
He's also 3-6.
Wow.
Correct.
Lakers have been in 8 finals since the year 2000.
Really?
Yeah. 1-5, lost 2. This is going to be the 8th. So it's going to be 6-2.
You know what? Changed my mind. Just out of my pure heart, I don't care about being wrong. Miami in 7. Let's go. Let's go. I can't pick the Lakers. No, it hurts too much. I don't care if I'm wrong.
And this is Miami's 5th.
Yeah.
Since 2011.
Yes, because all of theirs have come in the 2000s.
Yeah.
2010s and up.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
they're
they have-
fifth- they're-
For Miami.
No, their first was in 2006.
So they have, this is their 6th.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because
This is their 6th time in the finals.
2006,
then.
11,
Yeah.
12.
I forgot about 2006.
Is that the
13.
I was just giving the 4 of the LeBron and Dwayne Wade.
Good
was that
Lord.
the Shaq and
not
D-Wade?
4, not 5.
That's crazy. Like that is crazy when you start listing out like 11, 08, 12,
Yeah,
13.
they did 4 in a row.
So
14,
Miami
Jesus.
and Lakers have had. So that what is that total?
Well, you said
So 6. Yeah, so 14 total
That's-
for Lakers and Miami.
It's crazy that they've completely
2000s.
remade this. You still have Riley and Spoelstra there, and they've completely remade this team into something totally different.
Breaking news: Doc Rivers
Uh-oh.
is out
no
No
as
way.
head coach
No.
of the LA Clippers.
way.
Ah!
No way.
Listen, when you pay a team and you do everything you do to win the championship, you crown them as champions.
Well, hold
and
on.
you don't get past the Denver Nuggets
Wow.
in a series you're up 3-1.
By the way,
I said it could happen. I didn't think it would happen, but it definitely happened. Doc Rivers
well,
is
Josh,
out as coach.
hold on. Feel free
of
to
the
run
LA
me down.
Clippers.
But if you're paying a team and Doc Rivers is the coach, you're not doing everything you can to win a championship. Because the reason the players love him so much is because he didn't make them do anything. He doesn't make them practice. There's
Steve
a reason
Ballmer's
that
not
team
messing
wasn't
around.
together.
Steve Ballmer is not messing around.
Oh my gosh,
This
That's
is not
hilarious.
this is not the Donald Sterling Clippers, folks.
But that kind of ripple effects on signings too, right? And
Oh,
who's staying?
I don't
Nobody
think so.
cares. Nobody
No.
cares about Doc like that.
No. I don't. Well,
They
well,
like playing
who-
for Doc because he doesn't make you do stuff.
What
but
are the
when you
current,
but when you get
the current
embarrassed,
team? Are they going to stay?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Who I was about to say. Who are there? Do they have any free agents right now?
And who do they bring in?
they do next year.
Fair. Fair. That
Well,
is
that's the
true.
whole point.
That
you,
is
you
true.
don't have time to play
That
around.
is true.
And Doc's
And
not
Doc
gonna,
has proven
Doc is
that
not
he-
going to change a thing. He's a terrible adjustments coach.
This is a high-profile job. Who's going to?
Not with. I mean, not when Fogel's daggone getting to the freaking finals.
Yeah, but he
Give him D'Antoni.
This is fun. That
But-
news broker on the show.
But Vogel worked. I mean, as much as any coach can with a LeBron team, like he put in an insistence on defense. The team,
Yeah.
like even with LeBron there, they had practices. You know, you had to show up. With the Clippers,
Listen, man.
Never had to play together.
I know
That's
we were
crazy.
talking about the NBA Finals and Lakers winning in 5 and everything, but the Clippers fired Doc Rivers during our show. We appreciate it. Steve
crazy.
Ballmer actually texted me before they broke the news.
I am.
But listen, okay,
Shocked,
let's
but not shocked.
let's talk about it. What do the Clippers do? Who's the favorite?
Mark Jackson.
Oh gosh,
Dude, if
do
they-
they bring Tyronn Lue up?
If they do, that's going to be an unmitigated disaster. They need somebody from completely outside that Doc ecosystem.
They need a real coach. Shoot,
Oh.
Lawrence Frank could come down. I wouldn't even be
He'd
upset
be,
at that.
He'd be a better coach for them than Doc right
I
now.
wouldn't even be upset about that. He could pull a Popovich and just be like, I'm not gonna be the GM anymore. I'll be
Who's
the coach.
available. Nate McMillan, Josh, your boy. Is he our coach?
Dave
He's
McMillan
still
did
your job?
Dave McMillan did a lot better job than Doc did last year. I'm not saying
but
they'd hire
he
him.
keeps getting fired. I don't
Yeah.
think Clippers aren't going to.
People don't like- players
They're
don't
not
like
going to
Nate.
hire
Yeah,
somebody that
D'Antoni's-
gets fired that much.
D'Antoni still has.
No,
He's going to
Alvin
Philly.
Gentry?
D'Antoni's going to Philly.
Oh God, don't bring out.
Not
Well,
Alvin
hold
Gentry.
on, hold on.
Okay.
You say he's going to Philly, but this job wasn't open yet. So if they offered him this job, I think he would take the Clippers over Philly. I know I would.
Of course, but they're not good.
I don't think that.
They're not going to.
That's not
Those
his
guys
style.
ain't playing in that
wait,
system.
That's not his
wait. That's these players work a lot better in D'Antoni's system than Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons.
That's
Oh,
fair.
okay, but you have
that's
to
fair,
remember.
too.
I think a big portion of the D'Antoni thing
sound
is
like D'Antoni.
wherever you're bringing D'Antoni in,
You bring that system.
someone's getting traded. Someone major's getting traded.
The trade is
George?
happening.
What's
They're going to try. I feel like they're going to try to trade Paul George. I don't. Well, you can't do that. You already traded your whole team for him.
For
And
James
you're
Harden
not going to get it back.
towards a James Harden trade.
Wow.
I mean,
Kawhi would freaking slit his own throat.
no, I think he wants to slit his throat, thinking that Paul George was a
versus how
legit
Paul
second
George played?
star. Kawhi thought he was a legit second star, and he found out he's not.
Don't kid yourself. I think with
feel like Kawhi is still.
No, Kawhi doesn't think Paul George is.
I think if he ends up in Philly, I think they try to move somebody for Harden there too. I think teams are going to look at him and Harden as a possible package deal.
Wow, so Houston's going to be left with just Westbrook.
Well, yeah, that's going to be real fun.
What's the name of the guy, the coach who was with the Grizzlies and then the Kings the last few years? He's not
Dave Yeager. He's terrible.
Oh.
He ain't getting hired by one of those teams. Players hate him like a lot.
Yeah, he's bad.
What would be crazy? Becky Hammond.
That would be great.
That would be absolutely insane.
That would be a high-profile hire.
And
it would eliminate all Donald Sterling. And from all indications, she can coach.
Oh, no, she can coach.
We watched her in Summer League play. She has a Spurs team.
Coach.
Yeah, she has a championship in Summer League.
No, Bex can coach. That would be crazy.
Kawhi's worked with her before.
Oh.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
So, I mean,
forgot about that.
But you could get the sign-off.
He wasn't really feeling all the coaches and staff over
I don't
there,
think it was.
I think he just wasn't feeling Pop.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was Pop. I think it was more the medical staff. Than Pop.
Yeah,
because his leg was not right.
I mean, that's a big news though. I thought it should happen. I didn't think it would happen.
Wow.
No, and especially, I mean, good Lord, the media apology tour that's going to be coming right now. Doc's already going to be working finals games. But that's happening.
Like my man Les Pickett said, they couldn't. You can't really trade anyone, so someone had to take the
someone had to fall on the sword.
Someone had to, and he's the best one to do it because he's done this 3 times as a coach, being up 3-1 and losing the series. The only coach to do it more than once in the NBA history. Listen, man, this is a black eye on Doc's coaching stature.
Doc is a okay coach. Doc has never been a good coach.
People thought Boston should have won 2 or 3.
What's that?
People thought Boston should have won 2 or 3. They only got 1.
Doc is an excuse maker, and he's buoyed.
Not on Blake.
Yeah, he's buoyed by the media.
I'm so glad Kareem's not sitting there when you said he's an excuse maker.
The media loves him.
Yeah.
It's just excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse.
And I like Doc, but at the same time, as a coach,
everybody likes Doc.
He's a good guy, man.
I mean,
he's great with the media. He makes great statements.
Glenn Rivers.
Hey, Doc gave me finals tickets, so me and him are always cool.
Yeah.
I ain't got no problem with him.
I get it. Listen, if somebody gave me finals tickets, I'd say they're the best coach that ever lived.
Todd, would you take Doc as the Knicks coach when they fire their current coach?
He'd take Doc Brown as the Knicks coach at this point.
Great
I
Scott.
think Doc Martin as the Knicks coach.
Take Doc Holliday as the Knicks coach.
They would sign Doc Brown for 1.21 gigawatts.
Oh, I love where the show took a turn. That was great. Get it up to 88 miles an hour, Todd.
He'd take Billy Ray Cyrus from the show, Doc.
Wow.
I'll take Dr. Quinn.
Dr. Quinn.
Wow.
Anybody.
Well, you got Tom Thibodeau, so
yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah, once he runs those players into the ground.
I mean, look, listen.
At least they're young.
Listen,
yeah, it's a good team for him.
He created Jimmy Butler.
It's true.
Look at it like that.
Yeah.
He created Joakim Noah.
Yes, he did.
When Joakim Noah was a legit MVP
and
contender.
he created the Derrick Rose that we know now.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So, but you don't have a star.
Created the MVP
you don't have a star.
And
his destroyed body.
Yeah, I mean, right now, as long as you got 22-year-olds, they'll be fine.
You gotta listen. If you got a lot of young guys who can run a lot, it's a perfect team for him. Yeah. Once they're ready to take that next step, you better get fired.
The second they're ready for contracts, it's time for him to get out.
Then we'll bring in professional.
Well, they might as well do this because no free agent would go to him.
I hate
and
that
they
it's
get free agents anyway.
I hate the headlines are so nice. Doc Rivers and the Clippers part ways.
Of course.
No, you got fired. Just say he got fired because other coaches
Never.
you just announced they got fired.
They can't say that with Doc.
ESPN
Doc's the media's guy.
ESPN says out. So out usually means I was forced out.
They didn't wait much time, right?
Well, you get.
Before NBA Finals,
you get ahead of it.
What? I'm just imagining how hilarious this would be. Because what if he rejoins Austin in Houston?
Wait a minute, he might.
He might come cheap right now, and we know Tim Fertitta needs you to come cheap.
Who's I hate you.
Look at all his holdings.
Who's the coach of the Magic right now? Because that's where he lives.
I mean he had a 3-1 lead in Orlando too.
He did.
Magic
McGrady.
Magic is building a young team. They're not looking for.
Well, but I mean, because he had the
Who
front
is their
office
coach?
role. I don't know who their coach is right now.
Some white guy.
More than
Is it
likely.
Steve Clifford? No, that's Charlotte.
That's
No,
Charlotte.
it's Steve Clifford.
Steve Clifford.
Because it used to be Charlotte.
Good job, Dave.
It's Steve Clifford.
Oh.
Jamie Borrego is in Charlotte.
Even his regurgitated knowledge is still stronger than ours. That's crazy.
Dave's back, guys.
good job, Dave.
For everyone that missed Dave's face and only heard his voice once in a while, Dave is back.
Nobody missed me.
No, my
Let's be
mom
honest.
asks all the time
Hey,
about
I don't
Dave.
miss me.
A lot of people miss you.
I wouldn't
Mom
miss
asks
me
all
anyway.
the time about Dave, and we noticed Desiree's not calling in today.
It's for the best.
Yeah,
It's
don't
definitely
do
for
it
the best.
I would block the call.
Yeah, save that for a time that I'm not here.
I would
Not
block the call.
accept.
Man, that's some big news.
That is big news.
I know people not into the NBA are watching like, why you guys tripping over that? But that's big news.
It's huge news. He's a big name coach. I was joking about Houston.
But that's good for the
Fertitta
Clippers.
is never going to be able to pay that high profile of a coach.
That's good for the Clippers. They had to do that. They have two guys that could be free agents after next year.
It shows that they're taking it serious. Like
They have to.
it doesn't.
But
you
now,
know, it's
now
not
is this
status
coach
quo.
brought in just to keep, their all-star guys?
Well, no, I
No,
think
they're brought in
together?
to try to win the
Yeah,
championship.
no, they have to bring in a coach who's A, ready to win now, but B,
ready
who
for
is,
rebuild,
who is going to
just in case?
No. You
No,
can't,
they
you
would-
can't
they
go
would get
that
rid of
route
the
with
coach after a
with the
rebuild.
team that they have because they can't rebuild. It's
have no
too hard to
picks.
trade. They have no picks. They have no young players.
So it's
to
like
trade.
the window is next season, maybe?
Next season's the window.
Well, next season's the window, so you have to find a coach that can win next year and keep this team together.
Well, and not only that, but I think you have to have someone who
horrible
is going to
position.
make these guys play more games together.
That's a horrible
Because
position.
Doc is way
'Cause
out
it's
there.
over next year then.
Yeah.
Correct. Doc
Yeah.
is way in kind of like the vein of, oh, you feel you need the day off? Injuries ain't the only reason they
Load
didn't play that
management,
many games together.
Dave. You've been on load management the last 6 months.
You guys can
From his
talk. You
podcast?
guys should have a load management podcast.
We do. It's called Sour. Oh, I'm not going to spoil
Whoa,
it.
come on,
Don't-
man.
Don't let the
Come
cat
on,
out the
Todd.
bag. I haven't even told
I
the
didn't-
person I'm going to
I
host a
didn't
show
say
that
it.
I don't know anything about it other than the
I
title.
didn't say it.
You almost did.
No.
I haven't even told him. I'm sure I'll get a yes.
You almost gave it away.
Rising stars Charles Lee. He's been under Budenholzer. We already talked
Wait, what are you
about
talking about?
coaches. We
We're
already
not
talked
bringing in a
about Ty-
rising
we already
star to
talked-
try to win now, though.
We already
I
talked
feel.
about Ty Lue. Let me see who else. Juwan Howard, they're saying possibly.
Ty Lue not might be a bad fit because he has been coach at a championship level before.
Is
and if
LeBron
he
gonna
doesn't
help
work
LeBron
in one
coach
year,
that team.
Is
Get
it-
out of here.
But, he
LeBron
doesn't
gonna
work,
go
but if he
coach?
doesn't work in 1 year, it's okay to get rid of him. He's not going to stick around.
He's not taking a 1-year deal. He's
No,
not taking a 1-year deal.
I think
Lakers tried to give him a 1-year deal.
Yeah,
That's why he's in LA.
Well,
right-
Becky
in the
Hammonds
Clippers
ain't going to take a 1-year deal.
Jason Kidd, Kenny Atkinson.
but you're also they're
not Kenny Atkinson.
Man, there's really no coaches.
why not Kenny Atkinson?
Darvin Ham.
The only thing that worked against Kenny Atkinson
Darvin
is
Ham,
that
the coach?
Kyrie didn't want to play for
he's
him.
been coaching for years.
I didn't know that.
He's been assistant for like at least 8 to 10 now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was
okay.
an assistant for
Yeah.
Lakers, for
He's-
Detroit.
he's-
Who's he
he's-
with now?
Hold on.
Well, we don't care about that. All right, moving on to the UFC 253. Before we close out the show, we got about 5 minutes, folks. UFC 253. We should have been talking about this a long time ago, but Todd picked something else before.
Well, hey,
Todd,
it was good time
it
because
was
the Doc
perfect
Rivers
time.
news happened.
It was perfect time.
Tell me what happened on UFC.
Who did you want to win UFC?
People
253?
fought.
Oh, yeah.
Some people won. Some people lost.
Israel.
If you could name the two fighters, first and last
of course,
name,
Israel.
I want Israel.
I will buy you
He
lunch.
wanted Israel on Yom Kippur.
Yeah, it's a high holiday. No, Israel. I was telling them before that you showed
Wait,
up.
Name the top. Name the two fighters that fought in the main event.
It was Israel and Costa.
Israel who?
I don't know how to say his last name.
Adesanya.
Adesanya.
And
It's like Giannis's last name. I'm not going to try to say it.
you just.
Adesanya is a lot easier.
Oh God, Adesanya.
Antetokounmpo is
Yeah,
is a
I'll
lot.
take Adesanya all day.
It
But
sounds just like
I
he
was
looks.
impressed with Israel. I was saying we had a pay-per-view
The country.
party, your
That you-
party at my house years ago.
That you
And
hosted
it
for
was one of
someone else.
Israel's first fights, and I was really impressed with him. He wasn't even. It was like mid-card, the bottom of the pay-per-view. I'm like, wow, this guy's gonna be really good. I remember
He
there was
is.
a bunch of us there, and now it's a few years later, and he's fighting at this
He's
level.
the best.
He's
I think
his
pound for
motion
pound,
is
he's
so
the best.
fluid. He is so clean.
Listen, in this fight, even more than any other fight I've seen, I feel like he fought a perfect fight.
Oh, yeah. You could tell that, one, he disliked Costa.
A lot.
Two, Costa was not prepared for somebody at Adesanya's level.
And Adesanya said that Costa, all this junk he's talking, when he would see him one-on-one in the hotel, totally different. Totally different. And that's when you know you already got
studio gangster.
You pretty much. But that's when you know you already got in the dude's head, because Costa tried to bring that into the octagon. Israel doesn't care about that stuff. He's there to fight.
No.
And he's too technical. He's too quick. And I just don't think Costa thought he could win, and that's why he was trying to the head game antics, and it ended up backfiring on him. I'm not sure if he could walk today. That knee looked horrible. He was bleeding from the side.
If he wouldn't have got knocked out, he would have just been run through, and like it saved his leg to get.
And for the 5 people saying that they stopped the fight too early, stop it. You don't watch fighting.
No, they did not stop that fight too early.
I mean, he was done. My thing, and what I said over the weekend when we were kind of all talking about the fight from our various corners.
Well, we were all here. You were at your house.
I was
not wearing anything.
Not wearing anything. It is what it is.
but okay. So here's what we're talking about real quick. Let me lay this out there for the people.
He's wearing Jamal's fight trunks.
We always have
Whoa.
We always have a UFC party, usually at Todd's house, but then we got the big studio, so now we do it here at the studio.
And Todd won't let you do it there
Todd
anymore.
has yet to come to the party and has not even responded to the invite request.
But I mean, think of it this way. Imagine if all parties were at your house and then you had to drive.
It's not about that. It's not about that.
It's not about that.
It is.
It's not about that.
So,
it wasn't about that.
So Josh, as I'm inviting everyone in the chat group, Josh is like, well, you guys can come to my house.
He throws up another party.
He throws up another party.
He countered the party.
On the south side.
On the south side of Vegas. Which I've already invited people.
That would
actually
be closer to me.
I'm buying food. I'm paying for UFC.
It's just options.
Not everyone in between these two
I
parties.
thought of it that way because I'm a lot closer to you.
McDonald's
not everyone in these two parties pays for UFC. We pay for it here at the studio, Dana.
Support.
One other media member does it. So
don't.
Josh says, I don't want to go to your party because that would mean I'll have to get dressed. But he just invited all of us to his house to see him not be dressed at his house. I don't get it.
No, I covered what his attire would be.
Just Jamal's
Jamal's
Hill.
fight trunks.
Fight trunks.
Signed to my buddy.
Unwashed.
To my friend Josh, plug your phone in. Jamal.
Wow. But I don't even know where we were going. I don't even know where we were going.
Not to your party.
Not to the party.
Not to your party. But listen, man, Israel looked amazing. I love that fight. Costa didn't do anything that we thought he was going to do. I thought he would have one round of going off.
He couldn't.
Well, but like, okay, to that point, what I was saying, that was what I was saying. What I was saying in the group chat, he never even attempted to go forward. Like, even when he was still, like, when he was fresh, because, like, and the reason I say that is because him and Romero were dropping bombs against each other.
There's no question.
Complete bombs. Not one bomb was thrown in that fight. Do you understand what I'm saying?
He was too scared about Adesanya. You could tell he was scared of his.
But like
of his
even when he had him, like I think it was was it the second round? No, because it ended in the second round, right?
Yeah.
So the end of the first round, when he like got him up against the cage, and he actually started to kind of make it a dirty fight for like 8 seconds,
if that,
and then he backed up and let him free, and I was like, bro, you just finally got him up against the cage. This is where you dirty box. This is where you change the. You know what I mean?
Even the commentators said, but you could tell he was so scared of Adesanya's ability to counter, and Adesanya was connecting with him so much.
Over.
It started with the leg kicks.
Yeah.
He hit every one of those things.
Yeah, he did.
But he not only what was missed with like the leg kicks because you see his leg just reddening constantly.
Yeah.
And plus I think he might have had an injury there because you could see all the cupping marks on the back of the leg to begin with. But he just looked very ill prepared for Adesanya, and it's like you almost have to go in at him because if you're just going to stand back there and
get picked apart,
because Adesanya will wait for you.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind.
Well, he waited for Romero for 5 rounds.
Yeah,
and that's why people were mad at Adesanya, which he was smart.
It was a bad fight.
But listen, when you get a fighter like that, that's a boxer that wants to just beat you up. And you get his leg that many times, you could see in his face after the 4th or 5th
he didn't want
hard kick. He was like,
he was not
enjoying
enjoying
in his face. And Man, crazy. Light heavyweight, we have a new champion for the first time. We've only had 2 champions since 2011, which is John Jones, and then he let Cormier hold it a couple times.
Yeah, he let it. No, he just once. He just let him hold it
one
time
for a minute,
for a quick minute. But we have a new champion, Dom Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. I got it right.
Blachowicz?
I practiced a lot. Blachowicz. Blachowicz whooped him.
Dude, Blachowicz hits like a truck. I mean, all his strikes look slow, but man, they connect like a train.
And
Good
Dom Reyes,
Lord.
Dom Reyes, a lot of people thought he beat John Jones, and he got destroyed.
He's a smooth fighter, but man, he got caught. He got caught a few times.
A lot. Yeah. He got caught a lot.
You could see the body shot early.
It looked like his nose was broke.
The kick. Yeah, the kick was bad. The kick was bad.
Yeah.
A couple of them, actually.
But Reyes got destroyed. I was upset because that's not even rematch worthy. Neither is Costa and Adesanya.
Dude, Reyes looked like Bambi on ice when he went down.
Oh, my gosh.
Somebody said he looked like Don Flamenco from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
No, Don Flamenco's moves were a little too coordinated for that.
But Dom went down. He tried to stay up. He couldn't do it. It looked like he had a broken nose.
Dude, he looked like Michael J. Fox trying to do the chicken dance.
Oh, dang.
I can't with you. That's how you're going to end it.
Pretty much. Listen, we have...
Still got it.
Dave's back in the studio. We have a lot more UFC. We'll talk more on Thursday about that. We probably have a fighter online. You don't have to text him right now.
No, I forgot. I mean, he had already texted me.
No,
so
he's just checking his battery.
I was just trying to stop.
But listen, man, check us out. We're here live every Monday and Thursday, 1 p.m. West Coast time, right here on Gorilla Cross Radio. And download the app. Watch the replay. We have some interviews coming up in the future. So, yeah, we're out. Dave, welcome back.
Thank you.
My mom said welcome back, too. So glad to see you on the show. Hi, Dave.
You, Rosemary.
Hi. Bye, Todd.
Bye.
Todd, just smile in the camera. That's going to be the outro.
Todd, am I pretty?